All right.
Hello, everyone. This is Russell Tomlinson, and welcome to this Wednesday edition of Facebook Live. And I am so excited because we have a very, very special guest on
All right.
with
He's
this
still now.
evening, and it is about to be lit, as the millennials say. And I want to give you guys a little bit of time to come on because some awesome things are about to take place. We have the legendary, the one and only Mr. Les Brown is with us. And I don't want anybody to miss what is about to happen. This is going to be a time of insight. It's going to be a time of revelation. It's going to be a time of sharing wisdom, knowledge, understanding, especially for someone that is as experienced as Mr. Les Brown. This man is a worldwide influencer, and I'm excited to get into this session tonight. And so I want to take time now while you all are coming on, and I want to go ahead and I want to just give you an introduction. As one of the world's most renowned motivational speakers, Mr. Les Brown is a dynamic personality and highly sought after resource in business and professional circles for Fortune 500 CEOs, small business owners, nonprofit and community leaders from all sectors of society looking to expand opportunity. For 5 decades, he has not only studied the science of achievement, but he has also mastered it by interviewing thousands of successful business leaders and collaborating with them in the boardroom, translating theory into bottom line results for his clients. As a premier keynote speaker and leading authority on achievement for audiences as large as 80,000, folks, those are Super Bowl numbers right there. As large as 80,000, Les Brown never tires of using his energy to transform the world, well beyond the podium and public appearances, merging traditional skills and social media to empower his audiences, addressing audiences from Denmark to Dubai, Canada to the Caribbean. Over the past 2 decades, Mr. Les Brown has expanded his role from keynote speaker to master trainer. Revered as an icon by his colleagues, Mr. Les Brown received the much coveted National Speakers Association Council of Peers Awards of Excellence, and ultimately, its most prestigious Golden Gavel Award for achievement and leadership in communication. Toastmasters International also voted him one of the top outstanding speakers worldwide. Legions of followers flock to stadiums and arenas to hear this man who never stops believing that with proper guidance and training, you can achieve anything you desire in life. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome to this platform, well, let me try my DJ skills, the icon, the phenom, the mastermind, Mr. Les Brown himself. Hello, sir.
Hello, great one. How are you?
I am doing well, and I can just hear chants. Les Brown, Les Brown, Les Brown. For participating this time.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. It's always a treat when great people meet.
I'm already taking notes. I've got my pen and paper right here.
Oh, thank you. I'm ready for you. I'm ready.
If you hear that again, it's a treat when great people meet. You'll know that I got it from you. So
all right. Well, I'm like Paul. He said, "All that I have, I receive." So it's okay. I've got a lot from you. All right.
Thank you so much. Well, look, I am not going to prolong this time because there are a lot of people seeking answers right now. And we haven't come on this platform simply to talk about the problems and the issues. We actually want to talk about the answers and the solution. And so with that said, Mr. Brown, in this crisis, we are being bombarded with the message, stay home, stay safe. I'm sure you've heard it. However, You have recently published a book entitled You've Got to Be Hungry, The Greatness Within to Win. Here's our challenge right now. The challenge we have before us is, how do we stay hungry while we are having to stay at home? You know the story of despair and depression, self-defeating behavior, domestic violence, suicide. Bad things seem to happen to people when they lose their hunger for life. Give us some insight on this message. You got to be hungry. And so we're ready for you to take us to school.
Well, thank you very much. And everything that I'm going to share, everyone, I believe, already know it. It's common sense, but not necessarily common practice.
Wow.
So, number one, what's very important, you know, when fear shows up, Zig Ziglar said something that I like very much. He said, there are a large number of people who forget everything and run. But there's a small number of people who face everything and rise.
Wow.
And so we're in a time where people are focused on fear, but the Chinese language, as you mentioned about crises, it has two meanings. It has danger and also opportunity. And so what people need to do now in order to stay hungry, people who don't stay hungry have skinny kids. You have to look for opportunities. People say not opportunity knocks on every door. No, opportunity stands by silently waiting for us to recognize it. During this time, I finished my book, You've Got to Be Hungry. During this time, I finished the negotiations for a national franchise, because a good man leaves a legacy for his children and his children's children.
Yes.
During this time, I've been working on reinventing my weight. I'm working on getting a six-pack like you. I got one pack right now. Okay, one pack covered up 5 packs. And so I've been going for my walks in the subdivision where I live. During this time, I've spent rethinking my life. And the goal is to come out of this different than how we came into this. I see this as a cocoon. My daughter, Ona Brown, Dr. Ona Brown, she said, gaps are from God. And so if we see this as a gap from God, we will spend our time working on ourselves, developing ourselves, rethinking our lives about now what, so what? So what do we do next? And that's the key. And the key is looking at and examining our lives. Socrates said the unexamined life isn't worth living. So we have to, at this point in time, I think, begin to ask, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Is it giving me what I want to do? What goals have I set for myself? And particularly goals beyond my comfort zone, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. And so as we look at ourselves and look at where we are, and we see this period, this gap, that we're in a cocoon, you know, no matter how fast a caterpillar can run with all those little legs, it cannot fly. So it has to go into the cocoon for the transformation. And it's not watching CNN or MSNBC, okay? It's in there busy. And so we have to become an active force in our lives and ask some key questions. If I have my life to live over again, could I have done better? Another question is, what are the things if I died now that I would regret? Because this is a time for us to look at living a life of no regrets.
Wow.
And that requires reflection and challenging ourselves to rethink what we've done up to this point. God asked Adam, where are you? Not because he didn't know, but he wanted Adam to think. And as a result of that thinking, that reflection going within, life is a question, and how we live our lives is the answer. And so that we are emerging from this gap, from this period, from this cocoon, stronger, better, and writing a new chapter with our lives.
That's good. That's real good. I want to, something that you just mentioned, and I want you to elaborate on it a little bit. You talked about working on yourself, or we working on ourselves. How does that contribute to this hunger that you write about and speak about?
Well, we're in a period where things have dramatically changed. I can't tell you how many times I apologize to 2019, said, I'm so sorry I talked so bad about you. I'm sorry. I take it all back. I mean, can you delete 2020? And so when we look at, things have changed.
Things have
The
changed.
40-40 plan is gone. Over,
Wow.
you know, when you look at the millions of people that have lost their jobs overnight, and the millions of businesses that have gone under, now those people who've lost their jobs, those jobs aren't coming back. Those jobs are gone. So we have to begin to rethink our lives and say, what am I going to do now? And in an environment where they say, well, you can't come out now, or you're restricted, you're on a lockdown, you got to hunker down. Well, people who are hungry while they're staying home, they're upgrading their skills. See, this is a time, Robert Schuller said it, he said, you either expand or you are expendable. So I'm developing at least 6 different businesses that when I emerge, creating multiple streams of income from now, because this computer makes it a level playing field. 2007, Time magazine said the computer is the person of the year. And people were baffled by that. Why? Because in the comfort of your home, and by the way, Twitter just said to all of their employees, you don't have to come back to work. You can work from home. So now working from home, I can run my business, a global business, working from home. I have access to information and access to e-commerce. So people now can come up with ideas on how they can generate income for their families, because the 40-40 plan is gone, where you can expect to go to college, complete it, and in a lot of debt, and get a job and work for 40 years and retire on 40%, which wasn't enough in the first place. That time is gone. So now people have to look at, what is it I need to do to control my own personal economy? What's the skill set? What product, what knowledge, what abilities? Knowledge is the new currency. So how do I take that out into the marketplace and have something to exchange in order to be able to generate income, to take care of myself, my family, and the people that I care about, and live a life where I'm doing what I want to do, not what I'm required to do.
Yeah, so we're in a time of basically where we've got to reinvent ourselves.
Without any question, we have to die to who we've been to give birth to who we are to become. That's what Paul said, I must die daily. And so as we look at ourselves and look at our goals and dreams, the abilities that we need to acquire, and then I'll give you some suggestions at what I do. Number one, every day when I get up, I say to myself, Lord, whatever I face today, together you and I can handle it. Whatever I face today, together you and I can handle it. All things work together for good for those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. And then I write down 7 things that I'm grateful for. That I'm not in pain, I have my vision, I woke up in my right mind, yet I'm a cancer conqueror. And so I write down 7 things that I'm grateful for. And then I look at what I wrote down last night. At this evening, before I go to bed, I'm gonna write down 7 things that I want out of the day tomorrow. Now, most people, when they get out, they just wanna get through the day. When I get up, and this is what millionaires and billionaires do, they have an agenda for their lives. You don't have an agenda for your life, then you're going to be a part of somebody else's agenda. So when I get up, I have an agenda for what I want to get out of the day. And that's a different level of focus. And then, so when I get up, I know where I'm going. I hit the ground running. So right now, we have to in my estimation, because of the uncertainty of life, create multiple streams of income. It's better to have money and not need it than to need it and not have it. I
hear
have
you.
one product, a cancer product that I have to take every day. That product alone costs $23,000 a month. $23,000 a month. Okay. The average person who files bankruptcy do so because of medical expenses. So you have to have a strategy, number one, for your health. I ask people, what's your strategy for being here? You have to have a game plan for being here. So mine is having a plant-based diet, keeping stress to a minimum, having social support, and exercise, prayer, and meditation. That's part of my game plan and my strategy for improving my health. And then the next thing is you have to say, what are the talents, the abilities, and skills that I have not reached for yet that can serve me, that can make a difference? And I love this description and this story that I use as an example. This young man, he was known back in the day of being a very skillful and talented pianist. And so, but there was one patron who said to the bartender, can you have that guy sing something for me? And so the bartender went over to the piano and said, can you sing a song? I've got a customer that would love to hear a song. And the guy said, I don't sing, but you just tell me what he wants to hear and I can play it, but I'm not a singer. And so he went back and told the patron. The guy said, look here, he doesn't have to be a great singer or a good singer. I'm going through a tough time. I'm going through a divorce. I just want to hear someone sing something, anything, please, sir. And so he went over and told the pianist, he said, look, the guy said, you don't have to be a great singer or anything, but he's going through some stuff and it perhaps will give him a sense of comfort. So please just sing something. The guy said, man, I don't sing. I don't know how to sing. I don't. He said, but I'll play whatever you want me to play. And said, ask him one song, anything, his favorite, I'll play it. The bartender went back and told the guy, and the guy said, look, I spent a lot of money here. He won't sing, I'm out of here. The bartender went back over to the singer and said, if you don't sing for this man, you're fired. And the pianist closed his eyes and held his head back and sang, Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa. The pianist was Nat King Cole.
Wow.
That was the first time he ever sang in public. And gone down in history, one of the greatest singers of all time, a talent lying dormant. What if that moment had not taken place? He would have taken that voice with him to his grave. And so we all have something in us. I believe that we were created by the Creator to create. And so this is a time that we have to begin to reflect. We have to begin to experiment and try various things so that we can begin to discover who we truly are and what we have in us and going for us that we haven't even reached for yet, that we haven't even dealt with it yet. I remember Miles Monroe, he talked about rob the cemetery of your dreams, of your potential, of your abilities. And that's what we have to do. We have to be intentional about that, of robbing the cemetery of your genius and your abilities and the ideas that are in us, that if we don't bring them out, they're going to die when we go.
Wow. You know, in listening to you, it appears that you are, I know you speak to tens of thousands of people, but it appears that you spend more time speaking to yourself than anybody else.
Yes, you have to encourage yourself without any question, because life can knock you senseless sometimes, you know, and you wonder whether that Jesus went fishing, you know, and then he go on vacation. You say he might not come with what I call him, but he'll be right on time. Well, I'm here to tell you, he's late. Yes, and so you have to. It might be the most intelligent conversation you ever have. But the thing
Wow.
is that we can do more, have more, and we have the ability to interrupt the conversation that's in our head. See,
Yeah.
the reason we're told be not conformed to this world, we cannot control the thoughts that come in our minds, but we
Hmm.
can control the thoughts that we dwell on.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. So how much does that inner dialogue conversation that you have with yourself play a role in staying hungry?
It plays a major role because what it does is it helps you to begin to be in alignment with your life. Most people die at age 25 and don't get till they're 65. Those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, right thinking, right words, right vision, right relationships, right alignment with your purpose, those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, they shall be filled. And so when you don't have a clue as to who you are, and you don't have a vision and purpose for your life that governs the choices that you make, you're not going to live a full life. And so it's very important for us to be in alignment while we're here. If you can have all the talents in the world, but if you're surrounded by toxic, negative, energy draining people that will derail you in your dream, you won't live up to your potential. A lot of people will never, coming out of this, will be the same as they were when they came into this, because they have toxic, negative people that don't serve them. You have to ask yourself during this downtime, what are the relationships that I have? What are they doing to me? Am I growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually? Will they help my life to go up, or will they take me down? My son, John Leslie, he's a speaker, and he said, he asked the question, when you look at yourself and look at your goals and dreams, ask yourself the question, who should I count on and who should I count out? There are people who are always there when they need you, but when you need them, you can't find them. One of my granddaughters, I have 15 grandchildren, and I did a lot for her, sent her to fashion school and uh, cosmetology school. Whatever she needed, I got it for her. And I asked her to do one thing for me. And I'm waiting. She had to go pick something up and bring it to me. And she didn't come. So I called her. I said, hey, what's going on? Why didn't you bring back what I asked you to get for me? She said, oh, I went to sleep. I said, oh, okay. When I hung the phone up, I put block right there. So she had to call around to get somebody to call for me to pick up the phone because her number was blocked. She said, did you block my number? I said, yes. She said, why? I said, because I don't believe that you should make someone a priority who's made you an option. You
Wow.
made me an option. I tell
Wow.
people,
That's
don't
good.
complain about the toxic, energy draining people in your life, and many times they're family members. Don't complain about the toxic, negative, energy draining, emotional vampires in your life when you're providing the straw.
Mm, mm. Mr.
That's
Brown,
it.
let me ask you this, because so a lot of people's hunger is stolen by toxic company.
Yes. What fellowship does light have with darkness? None. And that's why it's very important that people look at their relationships and evaluate them, because you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. When I found that out, I got all the broke people out of our life. So y'all gotta go. You gotta go away, man. But you gotta go. I used to be so broke during that time, I could walk past a bank and trip the alarm. Let me tell you something. You have to get away from broke people. They rub off on you. Mama used to say, birds of a feather flock together. You run around with losers, you end up a loser. And so I had to upgrade my relationships. And it's very important. Most people don't do that. They still around the same people who are not growing, who don't have goals and dreams. And as a result of that, they lose their hunger, their edge, their drive. You can run faster with 100 who want to go than with one around your neck.
Wow, wow. You know, I've always said, relationships must be defined, and then boundary lines must be established. That way, you'll know whether or not that relationship is functional or not. But that is primary. That is key. That is just that advice right there, makes up for anything that you might not say later on. That's enough right there.
Well, this is a time where you want to look at the relationships and ask the question, given where I want to go and who I am becoming, what is it that this person brings to the table?
Yeah.
What skill set, what contacts, what resources, what knowledge, what experiences that bring value to my life? And what is it that I bring to their lives? So this is a time that we have time to look at our relationships because they have a major impact on it. There are toxic relationships and there are nourishing relationships. Nourishing relationships, they hold you accountable to a higher standard. They challenge you, they push you, they help you to see parts of yourself that you can't see by yourself. Toxic relationships, they drain you and they're always pulling on you. And so you have to really be mindful of the impact that they have on you, because I believe there's a spiritual dimension around what we are growing through right now.
Growing through.
Yeah, growing through, not just going through, growing through, because you're going to be stronger and better on the other side. But if you have relationships with people who just waiting for it to pass, that's not going to serve you. I've got some friends who know some technology that I don't know, who have ways that I can build a community of relationships, of people who believe in my business, and I can generate a minimum of $50,000 to $80,000 a month non-performance income. That this is a time that you want to have relationships with people who understand technology that you don't understand, and how to incorporate that, to use that to begin to move the needle on your life, on your business, on your income, so that you can create what Warren Buffett called a sustainable way of creating income that will serve you, that you're able, as a result of the decisions you make now, to live a life that will outlive you.
That's rich. That is rich. You talk about in your book, in your teachings, you talk about being single-minded. Give us some insight on what that means to you.
When I decided to become a motivational speaker, I used to go see Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote the book, The Power of Positive Thinking, and Zig Ziglar, who wrote I'll See You at the Top. And I noticed that there was nobody there that looked like me. And I said to myself, wow, if they need motivation and they live in a culture that gives them all of the advantages, and I'm being marginalized, discriminated against, and in a system and a culture that is designed to destroy myself, how much motivation do I need? And so I decided that this was something that, one, that I was going to learn for myself. Two, if I'm able to incorporate this in my life and I'm able to achieve the things that I want. And at that time, my goal was to buy my mother a home. I'm one of 7 children that she took in as a foster kid, and then she adopted us, or 7 of us. And so Mama had a third grade education. She worked for wealthy families on Miami Beach. She cooked for them, weighed the food left over from the families that she cooked for. She kept their children, and we wore their hand-me-down clothes. And I remember being fascinated around these big, beautiful homes and saying, Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm gonna buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I don't believe a woman should work unless she wants to work. And if
Yeah.
she does, whatever money she earns, she should keep it for
That's
herself.
her. Yeah.
But a man, not a grown boy, he generates the income. Women are not supposed to pay bills. And so I said, when I turn 18, I'm going to set you down. You'll never pay another bill. And I took care of my mother until she was 89. I bought her 4 different homes before she'd made her transition. And so that drove me, that became my magnificent obsession. And I'm encouraging people, find something that gives your life a sense of meaning and purpose, something that allows you to talk about. If you know the purpose of your life, it will narrow the choices that you make, how you govern yourself, how you use your time, the relationships that you have, and how you move forward in life. When you know where you're going, then now life has a laser focused energy behind it that allow you to do the things that you don't even know that you can do right now. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is it in the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. When I just think about this, Pastor. I was born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother in Liberty City, a poor section of Miami, Florida.
I know the area.
You know the area? Okay.
In fact, my grandmother lived in that area, so we spent a lot of time. In fact, I pastored a church in Liberty City.
Oh, okay. Then you understand that area, all right?
Area. I know the.
Yes. And so then we were adopted at 6 weeks of age. I went to Booker T. Washington High School in Overtown. And when I think about, I went to Douglas Elementary School, where I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade. And I failed again when I was in the 8th grade. But I met a high school teacher named Mr. Leroy Washington, and he had a very similar personality like yours, a person who has a hunger to bring the best out of people, to challenge people and to push them and to inspire them. And he said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. And I said, sir, I can't do that. He said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, look at me. I said, yes, sir. He said, go do what I'm asking you to do anyhow. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley is smart. He's DT. And he asked, what's DT? He's the dumb twin. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And
Wow.
what he did, he interrupted my story that I had about myself, what psychologists call your self-explanatory style. How we live our lives is a result of the story we believe about ourselves. When you speak, what you do because of who you are behind the words that you speak, that you interrupt a person's story, distract, dispute through the execution of your knowledge, of your experiences, of the things that you have learned from life. You dismantle their current belief system and inspire them, distract, dispute, and inspire them to write, as Mother Teresa would say, a pencil of the story, of the new story that they believe about themselves. And so when we look at where we are now, a lot of people are stuck. They've already broken the pencil. People say, it's not over till the fat woman sings. Well, a lot of people quit when she just cleared her throat. And so So because we're going to have failures. Think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. We're going to have failures and disappointments. There are things going to happen that we have never seen before. We're in new territory. I was in new territory when Dr. Alfred Golson at University Hospital looked at me and said, you have cancer, 4th stage cancer. Your PSA 2,400. I said, what does that mean? 1 to 4 is normal. I said, wow. And it metastasized to 7 areas of your body, including your spine. I smiled. He said, why are you smiling? I said, 7 is my lucky number. I said, I'm one of 7 children. I was born February the 17th. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the river Jordan 7 times. He looked at his nurse and said, this is a stranger in here. Okay. And then, so I said, well, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes. And you're ugly too. I said, you didn't call me ugly. Did you go there? He said, yes, I did. You are ugly. And then he said, but you got this. You got this.
Yeah.
We determine the diagnosis. You and God determines the prognosis.
Wow.
What he did and what I do when I speak. When you laugh, the mind shuts down. And the heart opens up. I train speakers and I teach them how to use laughter strategically, because now when he said, you got this, when he interrupted the laughter, I felt him at the cellular level. And I left there not with fear, but living from my heart. Where the heart is, there your treasure is also. Courage is in the heart. Commitment is in the heart. I left there knowing that I was a cancer conqueror.
Wow.
He spoke to my heart.
I've been told and I've heard that the human brain cannot distinguish a real laugh from a phony laugh. You get the same benefits, but oftentimes when I'm in your presence, or I'm hearing you, you have an infectious laugh, and I am sure that's part of your medicine regimen right there.
Without any question. I read a book by Dr. Norman Cousins. It was called The Anatomy of Illness. He was a physicist who had a fatal diagnosis. They told him that he would die within a few months. And he ordered a lot of old, funny movies. I Love Lucy and Groucho Marx and Jimmy Durante. These young people, they don't know anything about these people.
Three Stooges.
Gleason. Yeah, the Three Stooges, all right. And he watched them and he laughed himself back to good health. What they found in the area of psychoneuroimmunology, psycho, the mind, neuro, the nervous system, immunology, your immune system, that 1 minute of anger weakens your immune system for 4 to 5 hours. 1 minute of anger weakens your immune system for 4 to 5 hours. I remember a guy who said, he was a state legislator. He said, the man who angereth me killeth me. And sure enough, he got into an argument on the House of Representatives floor and died of a massive heart attack.
Wow.
Now, 1 minute of laughter boosts your immune system for over 24 hours. So people who are watching us, they won't get sick for 30 years. It's inner jogging. It boosts your immune system. You feel good all over. It affects you at the cellular level.
Well,
so
man, I tell
strategy of being here.
If people are talking about catching COVID-19, if we can catch this infectious laugh that you have, man, everybody's going to be healthy.
Yes, indeed.
Let me ask you this. You deal with another subject, and it's basically 4 words: the courage to act. What does it take to walk into that kind of courage? A lot of people are held back by fear. Yeah. What do we need to do to have this courage to act that you talk about?
When people allow fear to stop them, what they're doing is giving up their power, and they're living a fear-driven life, a fear of loss. What if I don't make it? What if things don't work out? Or fear of success. I can't handle this. So when you live a fear-driven life, it's a limited life. The key is to live a heart-centered life. I talk about this in my book, You've Got to Be Hungry. In a heart-centered life, you live from your faith, finding answers in the heart. And you are willing to become a risk taker. Viscott said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you can't become your best. And if you can't become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? And so the key to it is act in spite of the fear. See, that the courage is not the absence of fear, but courage is the willingness to act in spite of the fear. When I was called upon to speak in the Georgia Dome for 80,000 people, when I got there and they picked me up in the little shuttle in the parking lot and drove me in a tunnel under the stadium, a guy asked me, he said, what is it like to speak to 80,000 people? I said, I don't know. I've never done that before.
Wow.
I said, can you take me to the banquet room where I'm going to speak? I said, I'm going to probably speak to around 400 or 500 people. He said, are you Les Brown? I said, yes. He said, come with me. And he took me down the hall and he said, look out there. And I looked out. He said, that's who you're speaking to? I said, you gotta be kidding. He said, no. I took off running. He said, where are you going? They're stalling to bring you up. I said, I gotta go to the bathroom. I said, but it's number one. Oh my God. And so I locked myself in the bathroom and they kept knocking on the door. Mr. Brown, please come out. I said, call Mike Williams. Call Mike Williams. That's my mentor. He wrote the book called The Road to Your Best Stuff. The Road to Your Best Stuff. So he came, Brownie? I said, yes. He said, come out, man. They're stalling to call you up. I said, listen, Mike, I can't hear the voices. He said, Brownie, listen to me. Are you listening to me? I said, yes. He said, you're scared, aren't you? I said, yes, it's 80,000 people out there. He said, Brownie, they came to see you. You didn't come to see them.
Oh,
you
wow.
can do this.
Oh, wow.
I said, but Mike, I can't hear the voices. I said, man, my heart is beating fast. I feel like it's going to jump out of my chest. He said, Brownie, are you listening to me? I said, yes. And sometimes you have to have somebody who believes in you until your belief kicks in. He said, you can do this, man. Make your mother proud.
That's good.
I said, Mike, don't use my mama on me, Mike. He said, yes, make her proud, man. And so I came out and we started walking toward the stage, and then I grabbed their hands and said, well, would y'all pray for me? And so they formed a circle around me. I got down on my knees, then I grabbed their hands and put them on top of my head. I don't know what I was going to do. And so when I went up the steps, I remember him looking at me and saying, you got this. You got this. And all I remember, when the guy gave me the microphone, I went out there and I spoke from my heart. I don't even remember giving the speech. I don't remember what the crowd looked like or what that experience was. But when I watch it, I've only watched it 3 times, and that was in 1992 when I did it. But I don't remember doing it. I spoke from my heart. There are times that we have to go to a place within ourselves where we say to ourselves, I can't believe that I did it. I can't believe that I got through that, you know?
I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Aretha Franklin had a song that says, you know, sometimes I look back and wonder How I Got Over.
Yeah.
That was one of her favorite songs that I enjoyed. How I Got Over, How I Got Over. And so we have moments in our lives on how we able to get over fear. And part of it is walking by faith and not by sight. Part
Wow.
of it is putting whatever we're facing in the proper context and not overblowing it. I always wondered, why do they call psychiatrists shrinks? And the reason I think is because they reduce what we've blown out of proportion in the conversation process.
Mm-hmm.
Can begin to look at it with fresh eyes. I saw a guy 3 weeks ago who was one of the few people who jumped off the San Francisco bridge to kill himself. And he said when he left home, he was in a dark place in his life, that if anybody had looked at him, made eye contact, and spoken to him, that he would not have done it. And he went and he positioned himself to leave that bridge and kill himself. He was so depressed. And he said the moment that he let go, he knew he had made a mistake. And fortunately, he survived. And so what he said, and he goes around talking to people and encouraging people not to make a permanent solution for a temporary situation. He talked to them about your life matters. He said he really didn't want to die. What he wanted was to stop the pain that he was experiencing. He was in a relationship that did not work out. He was disappointed in himself and how he saw his life as a failure. And he wanted to stop the pain, but he really didn't want to die. And he didn't know how to work his way out of the pain. And there are people watching us right now who are behind on their bills and their dreams, who are in lockdown and looking at someone that they've been with for a while saying, do I want to do this anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to do this anymore? The average married couple talk 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 3 minutes a week.
Wow.
So just imagine somebody that you haven't been talking to, and now you're in lockdown together.
Wow.
And you have to negotiate that space. And so the domestic violence, every time unemployment goes up, and this is before the coronavirus, every time the unemployment goes up 1%, 10,000 women are beaten and children are brutalized. And so now when you look at the compounded number of millions of people who've lost their jobs and businesses gone under, the misery index has increased dramatically. So people need the tools, not just hope, and there's hope in the future that gives you power in the present, but they need the tools on how to rethink their lives and how to negotiate these troubling waters where we are, because we can. And you don't want to try and wing it because it's just too difficult. We've never been here before.
That's, we are certainly in, I believe, new troubles brings about the new thing that God himself is going to do. But in times like these, we're certainly, you talk about being resourceful. You also talk about being relentless. What exactly does that look like? And give us the secret behind that. How in times like these can we be relentless and resourceful, or vice versa?
I remember when my mother would be getting ready to go to work and she would say, oh, Arthur's bothering me. And my mother had swollen ankles from arthritis, and I would rub her feet and her ankles. And I'd say, Mama, who's Arthur? She said, don't worry, son. You live long enough, you'll find out who Arthur is. She did not lie. Let me tell you something up in here. She's talking about arthritis. I just had an MRI, and so I've been having pain in my right hip. So I didn't know what that was. And I said, that's arthritis. I said, that's what my mama talked about. Let me tell you, I used to wonder why they would say in church every Sunday would get on my last nerve. Thank the Lord for waking me up and my right mind this morning. I said, why y'all say that every Sunday? She said, don't worry. You live long enough, you'll find out. God is my witness. I went in the room looking for something the other day. I got in there and I couldn't remember what I was looking for. I came out the room, remembered what I was looking for, went in the room, I found it, and then I couldn't remember why I was looking for it. Okay, so my children said, Daddy, you need something for your memory. Down to Walgreens. And so the lady said, may I help you? I said, I forgot why I'm here. So she took me over to the vitamins. They gave me some stuff. And so I took those things home to take them. And now I forgot where I put them. So now when I wake up, I said, I thank the Lord for waking me up in my right mind this morning. This happened just yesterday. I was talking to my oldest son, and he said, what are you doing? What's that noise? I said, I'm looking under these papers. I said, I know my phone is around here somewhere. He said, Daddy? I said, yes. Calm down. I said, why? I said, I'm looking for something. I got to follow up on it. It's time sensitive. He said, you're on your phone. I said, you know what? I said, if you were here, I'd knock you out. Oh my God. I said, I knew I was on my phone. I'm looking for another phone. Oh my God, man, look at, I finally said, I said, Calvin, it's scary. I said, do you think I'm losing it? He said, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, I've heard it, you know, keep living, keep living, keep living.
It's a humbling experience.
Hey, we understand better by and by.
Yes.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, speaking of resourceful, you have a treasure trove of books, messages, you got a website. I know you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook. In times like these, people want to invest in themselves, and you have material that can help people to do just that. Why don't you just tell us where we can get this material, these resources from, as far as purchasing things from you?
This book, You've Got to Be Hungry, The Greatness Within to Win.
Yes.
I wondered why it took so long for me to get it out of me. And because it wasn't time yet. And I encourage people, they can go to IamHungryLesBrown.com. IamHungryLesBrown.com. And it's not just a read, a good read, but it's an experience. You cannot read this book. People who've read it said, when I got to the inn in hunger, now urgency, and I heard about the experience and I read about the experience you and Dr. Miles Monroe, she said, I immediately started thinking about the things I need to get done that I've been putting off and procrastinating. It will stimulate the hunger in you. It will drive you. It will introduce you to a part of yourself that you can't get to without somebody leading you who's been there. So you can't read the label when you're locked in the box. And what You've Got to Be Hungry does, it helps to unlock that box and see the truth of who you are. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So I want them to go to I Am Hungry Les Brown. And we have a QR code in there where they get over $250 worth of value of other motivational materials that we will download to the QR code. Technology. Isn't that a wonderful thing?
It's awesome. Well, but what is more interesting is the timing of this book, because if our research is right, wasn't it March of this year that you released this?
Yes, and the thing is, it's been coming for 21 years. 3 times 7 is 21. I start and I'll stop. I start and I'll stop. And then I got some help. I believe, ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help and don't stop until you get it.
Wow. Yeah, and this book, it was probably in March when really everything began to manifest concerning this virus.
Yes, right.
And you were working on the answer and the solution way before the virus got here.
Yes, and I had no idea. There are things in life that the time they happen, you think they happen to you, but there's a period in which you look back because life is lived forward. You realize they happen for you. Like when I was in radio, had I not been fired, which to me, I felt that happened to me. I was the #1 personality in the morning on WVKL radio station in Columbus, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And I editorialized against police brutality, a Vietnam veteran that was beaten while he was holding his 4-month-old baby. And they fired me. Had they not fired me, Helen Keller says, when one door closes, another door opens. But most of us spend time looking at, talking about, and being depressed about the closed door. We don't see the open door. Had they not fired me, I would have never become a state legislator and elected 3 times in the Ohio legislature and passed 14 bills my first term. Had they not fired me, I would have not been available to do motivational presentations for public television. And as a result, I was seen by King World and they paid me $5 million to do a talk show. Had they not fired me, I would have not been available to take care of my mother, to fulfill a childhood dream of taking care of her up to the age of 89 until she made her transition. It was a blessing. Listen, in life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. And I couldn't see it then. But looking back, I got 2020. I can see it now.
Right in. Listen, here's what I want to do. I want to, first of all, #1, thank you. #2,
yes, sir.
I want people to invest in themselves by investing in that work that you've done. I just believe that there are answers for multitudes of people in that brand new book. You got to be hungry. And right now, people are losing hunger, probably because some of them did not know about that resource right there.
Yes, and this will help to restore it. Because in order today to make it today, you have got to be hungry. Just think about the millions of people that have lost their jobs, businesses that have closed, businesses that we thought would be here forever. And they're gone. They're gone. Sears, I mean, that was an American company. It's gone. It's out of here. And J.C. Penney in bankruptcy. And so now, if you're going to make it, you got to be hungry. You people that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry believe, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry know that you must develop yourself. You must expand your mind and your knowledge. People that are hungry will find a way to win. They don't spend time criticizing the situation because there's never been a statue erected to a critic. They spend time employing their energy to figure out a way to turn the situation around to win. People that are hungry know that you will fail your way to success. Walt Disney failed 7 times. He filed bankruptcy 7 times. A cartoon that he had that he loved named Elmer. Someone stole it, but he didn't give up. He filed bankruptcy 7 times and had 2 nervous breakdowns, but he kept coming back. And so we're going through a time where we're not given the luxury of being just hearers of the word. We must be doers of the word. It's easy to have faith when you have your health, your marriage is working out, the children are acting like they have good sense. Okay, I got one said, you about to make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. You about to make me act a fool up in here, up in here. Okay. And so I know my mother laughing on the other side. I said, oh, you got one just like you.
But you know,
Yeah, so people that are hungry, they focus and they are relentless and they have mental resolve to make it.
you know, the scripture says, I believe it's in the book of Isaiah, while you are yet calling. In other words, before you call, I already have the answer in place. Before this crisis showed up through Mr. Les Brown, the answer was already in place. All we've got to do is invest in ourselves. And we don't have to fail. We don't have to be in despair. We don't have to quit. We don't have to be depressed. We don't have to practice self-defeating behavior. The answer is there. In fact, we're yet in an information age. And I want to just personally thank you for giving your life to the service of others. I want to thank you for your study. I want to thank you for how you have been a blessing to humanity around the globe. And to this very day, you are still impacting, empowering people. And the world is a better place because you're here. And we just appreciate you, sir. And we celebrate you. We applaud you. We're grateful. I know one thing that that is apparent as I talk with you from time to time. You make your living on your giving. You are a very generous person. You don't talk about it, but you make a living. Your life is blessed because of your giving. I want to encourage even those that are watching this, and I'm just asking people, you know, when we talk about giving, what I love about the Bible is this: you don't put pressure on people. The Bible says you don't force people to give. But I believe that there are those out there that have heard something tonight, and I want every one of you to be encouraged to go to Presence Gathering Church, our website, and all of the avenues that you need for giving is there. I believe that a seed tonight, whatever size it may be, will activate hunger on the inside of the hearers that heard this message tonight. At the beginning of this broadcast, you said, I'm ready for you. Oh, you were over prepared. You were more than ready. And I simply appreciate the insight, the information, the wisdom. I appreciate your faith and all that you have poured into us tonight. And I just want, and just one more time, while people are going to our website to give, and I'm trusting that they're going to invest in themselves through their seed, give us that information. Les Brown, how do they get your material again?
They can go to I Am Hungry, Les Brown.
Brown, all right.
Yeah, I Am Hungry, excuse me, I Am Hungry. I am hungrylesbrown.com. I am hungrylesbrown.com. Now, let me share this with you. Whoever purchased the book that's a part of your congregations, we're going to do a virtual workshop with them called Bring Out the Millionaire in You.
Oh, wow.
And teach them how to earn money in this new economy. And it'll be a minimum cost, and whatever it costs, all of it will go to the church. but right now,
Wow.
millionaires are being made. Billionaires are being made. My son, he was last week when I just think within 3 days, probably did over $50,000 online with the computer. And so this computer, your phone, it's a cash register. And we just haven't been taught how to use it, how to monetize our dreams and our passion. Is easier to make it today in the comfort of your home than ever before. I'll never get on another airplane again. I enjoy this space and time where we are. I'm upstairs in my room. My children don't know. They bring my food at the door, and I tell them just put it over there because I want to keep safe distance. But I got some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches hidden under the mattress. I'm keeping a social distance from the refrigerator. Hello, hello.
Listen, Mr. Brown, your generosity overwhelms me. I didn't expect what you just said, but we're certainly, as you present the opportunity, we're certainly going to take advantage of it. We'll talk about the details a little bit later, but once again, I want to say thank you and just appreciate you for, I know what you can command when you're giving out.
I'm going to show them how I got here. In America, when I speak, I get $70,000 an hour. And when I speak, like I just got back from Dubai, they pay $225,000 an hour. And so the goal is you learn, you earn, you pass it on. You are doing God's work. You have a passion for making a difference in people's lives. So it is my responsibility and obligation to serve you and your ministry and the people that are watching us right now. I am here because of God's grace and mercy. I'm a 27-year cancer conqueror because of God's grace and mercy. So I said to God, you know what? I'm living a great life. You don't do nothing else for me. You've done enough. Let me tell you, all I need is this six-pack that Pastor got. That's all I need. If you can hook a brother up, I'm going to the beach tomorrow.
Oh, I tell you what, Mr. Brown, look, we're gonna set this up, and I'm gonna be talking with your son, John Leslie.
Yes.
And and work with him. I don't want to interrupt your privacy with your peanut butter and jelly and all of that.
Thank you very kindly.
So I'm going to talk with him, let him work everything out, and we will go from there. Sir, okay. Let's say thank you again.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Continue to allow God to use you, your powerful voice for the Jewish carpenter. Thank you. God bless the day you were born.
God bless you, sir. Much appreciated for you being with us. And I will certainly be in contact with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Yes, sir. You do the same.
Bye-bye now.